Here we are, guys. Another community task in Japan, and I call this the snitch book. Let's do it. So it's recycling time, and we have to pull out all the recycling, and we have to check it all, and if there's any problems, we have to write it in a snitch folder. So, snitch life. Any issues or anything, we have to say, don't do that. That's naughty. And we write it in the book, so make sure all the plastic bottles have got the caps taken off them, and the right cans are in the right bags and things like this. And then that gets passed on, and then it gets reviewed at the end of the year. And the boss of the village tells everyone that they've done really well this year or something like that. So this is the snitch folder. So anyway, let's do this job. So here's one bag. So we've got to go through and make sure all the lids are taken off. This one's been a bit of a naughty boy. And just dig through the middle and sort it out, take it off. If there's someone's forgot to take the stickers off, we got to take them off, and then we write it in the snitch book. There we are. It's an example. It's taking these ones off, and I'm going to write, "You naughty boy." So if you're a Karen out in Japan, you'd love this job. Look at this one. Naughty. A Karen would write a 5-page essay in here about how they're destroying the world environment. But anyway, this is a job you have to do in Japan, out in the village areas. Cavalry has arrived. Ganbarimasu. I wonder whose those cans are, eh? We had to move our cars. Let's keep going. And after checking all the recycling, it's cleaning time. Oh, I just whacked my head a good one. Oh. So, only a few plastic bottles were not done properly. I never write in the stitch book, but if you're a bit of a carrot, you can. That's the snitch folder just down there. So, this is what's inside the snitch folder. It's a velvet lined snitch folder, so it's all pretty cool. So it's got who performed the task and any problems associated while you're there. Also has a few safety equipments. And what else we got in here? That looks like a can opener or something, and a knife. Helps you get the bottle caps off for these naughty people. So we're done now, and Checo's going to shut the gate. Ganbarimasu. All done. Snitch book. It was all perfect, guys. I'm not snitching. Okay, so that's another community task, quite a quick one. And you've got to be a snitch. That's the system. So for people who want to make sense of this sort of thing, there's a lot of logic behind why things are done like this in Japan. And one reason is if people get on top of the recycling, and they have no issues, that means that these private companies that come up and take the recycling, it lowers the property taxes. So if we do all the work, maintenance around the village, the recycling, get on top of the rubbish, and we do it properly, this lowers the costs for companies and the council to come and provide services, and we get the benefit in reduced property taxes. So as an example, my place, it's an old, reasonably large house, and it's got a fair bit of land with it, but we only pay $300 a year for property taxes. And if we were to leave the snitch book and whatever, and everyone did their recycling how they wanted to do, you end up with property taxes like you have in the West, where it's exorbitant, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've even heard $10,000 and $15,000 in America in certain places. And most of the time you're only getting your rubbish picked up and things like this. So it's absolutely exorbitant charges. And that's because we don't have the option to do this, do we, in Australia? You don't have the option to get all your friends together and have this system where everyone spends 20 minutes once a week and they sort out the rubbish and whatever, and everyone gets the benefit of lower property taxes. It's probably illegal, isn't it? And I wonder why they made it that way. So councils with their contractor friends can make a lot of money off people. But this is a brilliant system, and people chip in, and that lowers the burden on the council and contractors performing tasks, and that means they can charge less, and that means we don't have to pay as much. So people are really happy to do this sort of thing. And what generally happens is you get some foreigners who don't know this information, and they think, you've got to be a snitch and you've got to put in some time every now and again on the weekends. But if you work out your time and how much work you put in and what your savings are in property taxes and things like this, it's actually a very, very good deal. And people may whinge that they have to do these sort of things, but they don't see actually the benefit and why it's done. And this is why it's done. It's done to keep costs down. Everybody in rural areas aren't rich. They can't afford to pay exorbitant sums. There's people who have been in these villages forever. They're not generationally wealthy. Some are and some aren't. So this sort of system keeps them living where they've always lived. So what's happened in the West a lot is you have a certain generation, they've grown up there, and it comes a time where they just can't afford to live there anymore. Even if they own their own house, they can't afford to live there because the overheads to live there, property taxes, etc., are just too high. But this doesn't happen out in places like this, out in Japan. So it's actually brilliant. So this makes people being able to live in their areas that their families have always lived in, because they're able to keep their costs down and chip in and do things like this. So there's always more to these things. I've spoken about this before, but I thought I might reiterate it because it's been maybe a year or so for those who's recently joined. But there's always a bit of a method to the madness. So a lot of people like to write this sort of stuff off, and it seems a bit silly or whatever, but there's something really, really magic about it. People are able to stay in their villages. They're able to live on moderate incomes, very modest incomes, and still have a good life. So this is what this community stuff's all about. And you get to stay in touch with your community, and there's a lot of other social benefits, especially if you're older. It can get a bit lonely. And what generally happens, especially in apartments and stuff, in the major cities, the oldies they get old, they lose touch with their families, they lose touch with their friends, and sometimes they die a lonely death. But out in places like this, people don't show up for their things or whatever. They look a bit down. People can talk to them and whatever. So it serves a social purpose as well. So this is what it's all about. And If you want to snitch on people, that's up to you. I'm only having a bit of a joke, but I never write in this fig. I don't really care. But maybe over the course of a year, someone might write one or two things, but it's not a big deal. So anyway, guys, hope I gave you a little bit of insight on why certain things are done in Japan, especially this sort of rubbish thing and whatever, especially in rural areas, and that there's a bit of a method behind the madness. So anyway, I've got to go in and get this oven hot, and as always, hope you like the video.
Let's go, go.